Humanity stands at a curious crossroads. We possess a tool of extraordinary potential, the mind. Yet we are rarely taught how to use it with clarity, precision, or wisdom. Instead of mastering it, we often become its prisoners, mistaking fleeting thoughts for reality and anxieties for absolute truths. Why do so few truly understand the workings of their own mind? Why has this powerful instrument become a source of struggle rather than liberation? The answer lies in a tangled web of influences, the conditioning imposed by society, an overemphasis on external knowledge, the inherent constraints of the mind itself, and a fundamental misinterpretation of its true purpose. From the moment we begin to form memories, we are immersed in an unyielding tide of conditioning, shaping the very fabric of our thoughts. We are taught to tie our identity to the flow of thoughts and emotions, to build a story of who we are based on the echoes of the past and the hopes of the future. This conditioning creates the illusion of a separate I, a lone entity navigating a world full of others. This perception feeds a deep sense of isolation, fear, and an endless yearning for something we feel is missing. This false sense of a separate self pulls us away from our natural state of unity and harmony. When we see ourselves as separate from everything around us, we become strangers in our own lives, perceiving the world as foreign, even hostile. This divide fosters an ongoing sense of alienation, both from ourselves and the world we inhabit. Our educational systems, while undoubtedly offering valuable knowledge and practical skills, often fall short in nurturing the vital realm of self-awareness. We are taught to analyze, classify, and control the external world, but seldom encouraged to look within, to understand the workings of our own minds. The modern mind is in a rush, ever focused on external achievement and accumulation. This constant drive to acquire knowledge often overshadows the importance of turning inward, of questioning the very nature of the self. As a result, we become skilled at maneuvering through the complexities of the world, yet remain blissfully unaware of the very tool, the mind, through which we engage with all of it. This misguided focus is further deepened by a fundamental misunderstanding of the true nature and role of the mind. We are conditioned to believe that the mind is the source of consciousness, the driving force behind our actions, and the ultimate judge of truth. However, deeper insights reveal that the mind is not the master. It is a tool, a powerful instrument created to serve a higher purpose. When the mind is purified, it becomes a faithful servant to the self. It manages both the inner and outer instruments, guiding them to fulfill their true functions. The mind, when used correctly, serves love, life, truth, and beauty. An obedient mind is a noble one, disciplined and organized, ready and eager to serve its higher calling. Through a process of misidentification and unchecked assumption, the mind has taken over its rightful place, convincing us that it is the I, the very source of our being. This simple I am thought is the root from which all duality emerges. Once there is an I am, there must inevitably be a you, a them, an other. The effects of this internal coup are profound. Enslaved by the illusion of a separate self, we become caught in a never-ending cycle of striving, searching for validation, security, and happiness in external successes and fleeting pleasures. Fear and greed distort the mind's true purpose, leading it astray. Restless and prone to comparison, the mind murmurs doubts and anxieties, feeding a constant sense of inadequacy and discontent. The modern mind is in a rush, craving quick fixes, instant ways to quiet the mental noise. It's why methods like drugs can seem appealing. They promise relief, however temporary. But here's the truth. The mind is never decisive. It's not a matter of one person's mind versus another's. The essence of the mind is indecision. It vacillates between two opposing poles, searching for a right way, never fully landing on one. The mind, with its inherent limitations, is ill-equipped to fully grasp the true nature of reality. Trapped in duality and linear thinking, it struggles to comprehend the non-dual, infinite awareness that is the foundation of all existence. It's as if a fish were trying to understand the ocean. It can only grasp fragments, creating concepts and abstractions that fall far short of the truth. The mind cannot understand non-duality because duality itself cannot grasp the essence of non-duality. How easily language misleads us. We unconsciously assume that reality can be approached through knowledge alone, but this is an illusion. In its attempt to make sense of the world, the mind spins complex narratives and belief systems, often rooted in past experiences and ingrained habits. These stories provide a sense of structure, but they also trap us within rigid viewpoints, limiting our ability to respond to life's ever-changing flow with creativity and openness. We forget that the mind is not the territory itself, it's merely a map. And when we cling too tightly to the map, we miss the vast, uncharted terrain of our own being. To correct this misunderstanding, we must fully acknowledge the workings of our own mind and learn to turn it into a tool for self-discovery. Over time, words and concepts took on an exaggerated importance. The real became obscured by the conceptual, and now we live in a world dominated by words, crowded with language, yet disconnected from the deeper truths that lie beyond it. The mind's constant activity and its tendency to dwell on the negative create a perpetual sense of unease and dissatisfaction. Like a restless monkey, it hops from thought to thought, replaying old grievances and anticipating future worries. This ceaseless mental chatter obscures the stillness and peace that lie at the core of our being, preventing us from experiencing the joy and fulfillment that are our birthright. So we need a practice, so we have a tool to work with, something to actively do. But for these practices to work, you must be willing to question every answer the mind gives. You must catch yourself before you weave stories, before thoughts drift too far beyond your awareness. Do not let your mind feed you any more false narratives. Even in spiritual pursuits, the mind can unwittingly maintain its dominance. The ego, ever sly, can co-opt spiritual teachings and twist them to serve its own ends. We may seek enlightenment, but if our desire is to enhance the I, to gain a higher status or some better state of being, we're only reinforcing the illusion of separation. As long as the me remains intact, even amidst spiritual attainment, we're merely flattering and strengthening a false identity. But here's the truth. Each of us is an expression of intelligence, unique and irreplaceable. In this vast cosmos, each point of expression is distinct. When you contemplate how you should be, you limit yourself. You are already a unique expression of life. However, the path to liberation isn't about suppressing or annihilating the mind. It's about understanding its true nature and restoring it to its rightful role. The mind is a valuable tool designed for creativity, communication, and navigating the complexities of the world. When we communicate with each other, we are using the mind. There's no other way. It serves as a bridge, connecting the body with the soul, the world with the divine. The key is to recognize that the mind isn't the I. It's merely a collection of thoughts, emotions and sensations arising and passing away within the field of awareness. By learning to observe the mind without judgment or attachment, we can begin to loosen its grip and reclaim our inherent freedom. Don't force the mind to stop thinking, just watch it. Allow it to run as fast as it wants. Don't try to control it in any way. You simply remain a witness. Watch and don't rush. The modern mind is always in such a hurry, but there's no need for that. Be aware of the mind in all its forms, the bright side, the dark side, the right, the wrong. Whatever polarity it holds, just observe it. This disidentification process opens us to a deeper intelligence, a pure awareness that isn't constrained by the mind's beliefs or concepts. It's spontaneous, effortless. This intelligence, the source of all creativity, compassion and wisdom, can guide our actions, ensuring we respond to life with clarity, integrity and love. Trust this pure intelligence, which is already functioning in your body right now. Recognizing that intelligence, that's the razor's edge. When you allow the mind to think freely, the thoughts will begin to dissipate, and eventually you'll find yourself in a state of emptiness. Everything will unfold naturally, without force. This is the true power of the mind when it is allowed to rest in its rightful place. It is crucial to recognize how language perpetuates the illusion of separation. While words are necessary for communication, they can also become barriers that reinforce the sense of a distinct I navigating a world of others. By becoming aware of the limitations of language, we can begin to transcend these constraints and access a deeper level of understanding that lies beyond the realm of concepts and definitions. As you speak, words inevitably become limited. You must use terms like you, me, my, ego, mind. However, it's important to give yourself the opportunity to explore these concepts deeply through intensive meditation. Devote your heart and mind to contemplating the nature of the I am. What is it? How is it? What is its source, its life, its meaning? This deep inquiry will lead to the quieting of the mind. As you investigate the I, the mind becomes quieter and quieter until it eventually disappears altogether. This is because the I is the ego. The journey of reclaiming the mind is not passive. It requires courage, persistence, and a willingness to question deeply ingrained beliefs. It demands that we challenge the societal conditioning that has shaped our perceptions, dismantle the narratives that have defined our identities, and embrace the unknown with an open heart and a curious mind. For those who are ready, the path begins by seeing themselves as equals. The falseness of the I must be recognized, and in that realization, you are left with clarity. As you observe the source of the I, the mind quiets down. This process continues until the mind's noise ceases entirely, leaving only stillness. When you stop thinking, everything aligns. The mind is merely a conglomeration of thoughts, nothing more, nothing less. It's not an entity, it is the thoughts that need to be subdued, for it is our overthinking that keeps us trapped. This journey is about discovering who you really are, peeling back all the layers of illusion that have kept you from seeing your true nature. What you're really looking for is to live in a way that reflects your authentic self. You have a body and a mind to facilitate this expression, but it's also about knowing what you are not. The destination isn't some far-off ideal, but the simple recognition of what has always been: boundless awareness, unconditioned freedom, and inherent joy. When you realize this, the need for concern falls away. Let yourself be taken where you need to go, for the genetic pattern you worry so much about will fall into place and function naturally. In conclusion, humanity is not doomed to be ruled by its mind. By understanding the forces that have led to its dominance, by recognizing its inherent limitations, and by cultivating the ability to observe it with awareness and compassion, We can reclaim our minds and restore them to their rightful place as servants of a greater intelligence. This journey demands courage, persistence, and a willingness to question everything. But the reward is freedom, peace, and the realization of our true potential. Only when the mind relinquishes its role as master can we awaken to the boundless possibilities within. If you give reality to concepts, you are reinforcing their distortions of reality. Abandon all conceptualization, remain silent and stay attentive. Be earnest about it, and all will be well with you.